They said it was just her schizophrenia, until every single prediction came true. This story has been shared on various platforms, but I needed to say it more and get answers. My grandmother wasn't always the woman who predicted death. She came from Recife, Brazil, a woman of faith, a woman who spoke to gods. The Orixas, she called them. Ancient spirits. She'd leave them offerings, light candles, whisper prayers. And they whispered back. Then she moved to America. And everything changed. The voices got louder. Demanding. She'd set plates for invisible guests. Laugh at jokes no one else heard. The diagnosis came fast: paranoid schizophrenia. The medication silenced the voices. For 2 years, she was normal. We thought we'd saved her. We were wrong. On her 73rd birthday, mid-conversation, she just stopped. She blurted out a name, Henrique. Henrique Santos. December 9th. The name was that of my uncle. Perfectly healthy. A runner. Why was she saying his name? But here's what terrified me. When she wrote it down, her hand didn't shake. Not like usual. It was precise. We didn't think much, but what I did not know then is that I had 3 weeks to say goodbye. December 9th. 7:47 p.m. My father called. Heart attack. Instant. Uncle Henrique was gone. She didn't cry. Didn't seem surprised. She just opened her notebook and marked him off. The Orixas don't lie, she said. That was just the first name and the start of everything. Cousin Paula. 3 weeks later. Car accident. Aunt Benedetta. Brain aneurysm. The date, exact. Mr. Rodriguez from church. Stroke. Right on schedule. Every time she'd emerge from these episodes, her hand would steady. She'd write a name. A date. And she'd beg us not to tell anyone. Grandmother with shaky voice will always mumble underneath her breath. They'll think I'm cursing them. But I'm just hearing. The names are being called. By the 10th name, half the family stopped visiting. Afraid that hearing their name and her voice would seal their fate. But the voices? They didn't stop. And neither did the deaths. 16 names. 16 deaths. All within 6 months. We tried everything. Increased her medication. Therapy. We even hid the notebook. She found napkins. Receipts. Margins of newspapers. She couldn't not write them down. And here's what haunted me: she was suffering. Every name she heard felt like a weight crushing her. She told me once, they never stop calling. Even in my dreams. Calling and calling and calling. Then one Thursday, she stopped taking her medication completely. I found her surrounded by candles. Blue for Imania, the ocean goddess. Red for Ixango, god of thunder. Her medication? Untouched for weeks. One more name, Minhanita. I wrote one more. The name was bold, Mariana Oliveira Santos, November 19th. It was her own name. 4 days away. I begged her. Hospital. Doctors. Something. Anything. My grandmother, seeing the fear in my eyes, held me, whispering, "Death is not the monster you think, child. I've been speaking with those who cross over all my life. They are called home. And I am so tired of hearing What do you say to someone who's written their own death date? Who's been right 16 times? November 19th came anyway. I spent that last day with her. We made canjica, sweet Brazilian corn pudding. Her favorite. We looked at old photos from Recife. She told me stories about the Orixas. About Imania who guides souls across the water. As the sun set, she grew quiet. I remember her saying, "Light the candles for me. Blue and white. Imania will guide me across." At 11:47 p.m. She closed her eyes. The death certificate said cardiac arrest. Natural causes. But she'd called it. 4 days earlier. To the hour. So here's the question that haunts me. Was it schizophrenia? A woman so deep in delusion that she, what? Willed these deaths into existence? Somehow knew through broken brain chemistry? Or was she chosen? A woman who spoke to gods her whole life. Who the Orixas trusted with terrible knowledge. The doctors had their answer. Mental illness. Coincidence. Confirmation bias. But 17 names. 17 exact dates. 17 deaths. How many coincidences before it stops being coincidence? I kept her notebook. Sometimes late at night, I open it. And I wonder, what if she wasn't the only one? What if right now, in nursing homes and psychiatric wards around the world, there are others hearing names? Others dismissed as crazy. Medicated into silence. Others trying desperately to warn us. The notebook had blank pages left. Dozens of them. I burned them. Every empty page. Because some things were not meant to know. And some names should never be called. My grandmother's story ended on November 19th. But somewhere in Recife, in the terreiros where she once prayed, the Orixas still whisper names. And someone, somewhere, is listening. Are you? If this story kept you watching until the end, share it with someone who believes in the space between science and spirit. And if you've ever known someone who seemed to know things they shouldn't, drop their story in the comments. Because maybe, just maybe, we've been calling it the wrong thing all along. Subscribe for more true stories.